You don't have to be a prompt engineer to craft successful AI prompts. After testing hundreds of different approaches, I've discovered something surprising. Just 9 versatile prompt templates can handle most of the typical AI interactions many of us have. These aren't flashy tricks, they're practical formulas I use often that work consistently across ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Microsoft's Copilot, and pretty much any other AI tool you might be using. I'm Jeremy Kaplan, Director of Teaching and Learning at CUNY's Newmark Graduate School of Journalism and the author of the Wonder Tools newsletter. Each week in my newsletter, I explore practical digital tools and tactics that can enhance your work and creativity without overwhelming you with technical complexity. Let's explore these 9 prompt templates. Think of them as your Swiss Army knife for AI interactions. All of these prompts, by the way, in full are available in the digital version of this newsletter post. There are links throughout that post to the full prompts and examples of the prompts in action. Prompt number 1, interview me. The first template helps overcome the dreaded blank page. Use this when you're stuck with writer's block, or your thoughts feel scattered, or you're trying to crystallize abstract ideas. For example, I was planning recently a workshop on AI tools for educators and was struggling to organize my thoughts clearly. So I prompted Claude to interview me about my goals for the session, my audience's needs, and potential activities that might help make the session useful and interactive. The AI asked thoughtful questions like, what specific pain points do these educators face when adopting new technologies like this? And what's one skill you want every participant to walk away with? By the end of our exchange, I had a much clearer vision for the workshop and specific content sections to develop. A couple of tips for this prompt: specify how you want to be interviewed, perhaps one question at a time, and request follow-up questions that build on the previous answers. And ask for a summary of your responses at the end to clarify your thinking and to help you with next steps. Prompt number 2, help me edit. The second template helps polish your words. Use this when you're refining an important message or don't have a colleague to help with editing, or you just want to strengthen a draft before sharing it. Tips for this one include requesting specific feedback on common weaknesses like cliches, weak verbs, passive voice, redundancy. Ask the AI not to change your text, but to provide a numbered list of potential issues for you to address. If you feel overwhelmed by the amount of feedback you get when you use a prompt like this one, ask your AI assistant to proceed like a patient editing coach, noting only one issue at a time. Prompt number 3, organize my rambling. This template helps structure messy materials. Use it when you have a disjointed thought or a set of material that needs structure, like meeting notes that lack organization or brainstormed ideas that need categorization. I used this after a recent volunteering meeting that covered a lot of different topics in a kind of scattered way. The conversation jumped around and my notes were difficult to follow afterwards. So I pasted them into ChatGPT with the organize my rambling prompt, asking for thematic organization with clear action items for each category. And within seconds, I had a structured document with separate sections for each major topic, highlighted decisions, and a clear list of next steps that I could act on. Tips for this one: try different organizational frameworks, like asking for things to be organized chronologically or thematically or based on priority. You can also request specific formats that you prefer, like bullet points or sections with headers. And this allows you to transform transcripts into actionable summaries with clear next steps. The fourth prompt, push my thinking. This template helps 10x your ideas. Use it when you suspect your thinking is limited or conventional, or you recognize potential blind spots that you might have, or you're aiming for something exceptional, not just satisfactory. A tip here is to ask specifically for surprising, unusual, unexpected, or unconventional approaches. Request multiple options, 5 to 10 different possibilities, and follow up by asking for even more ideas. The AI will not get tired or bored. And often the 9th or 13th suggestion might be the one that resonates with you. Prompt number 5, help me plan. Use this template to map out a day, a long-term goal, or a complex project. It's especially helpful when you're tackling complex projects with multiple components or multiple people involved or multiple steps. If you're feeling overwhelmed by a task, or if you need an objective perspective on your planning approach, this can really help. Tips include asking for or detailing specific constraints like time, resources, or team composition. Mention your preferences, your working style. Give as much information as you can to your AI assistant so it can provide a plan that's actually relevant for you and useful. You can specify the level of detail you need, and you can ask for contingency options if certain approaches don't work. Prompt number 6, help me understand. This template simplifies confusing concepts. Use it when grappling with complex technical material, struggling with jargon, maybe legalistic material or bureaucratic paperwork, or you're trying to process complicated information while tired, or maybe you're trying to understand something in a language you don't speak that well. I recently used this prompt when researching multimodal AI models for a newsletter post. I was confused by some of the technical terms and details I was encountering, and I basically tasked my AI assistant with helping me understand what I was trying to make sense of. Tips for this one include specifying what format would help you understand the material, whether you maybe like some analogies or examples or summaries. Indicate your current knowledge level as well and mention why you need to understand this topic. Those bits of context can help the AI assistant to provide information that's really useful and explanatory material in a way that's relevant for you. Prompt number 7, help me clarify. This template strengthens how you communicate. Use it when crafting important messages that need precision, or when you're struggling to articulate an idea concisely, or maybe you're preparing content for a presentation and you want to really convey it in a clear and precise way. A tip for this one is to provide details about your audience and their background and their relevant information that they already may have or may not have. Specify the communication medium, like whether you're communicating in person or online or in a presentation or in a one-on-one kind of group or a group setting. Indicate your preference of tone and ask for multiple versions so you can compare different possible approaches. Prompt number 8, help me make. This template provides customized instructions for creating something. Use it when learning a new skill, experimenting with unfamiliar tools, or seeking step-by-step guidance for a project, even maybe when you're trying to cook something for the first time. Tips. Use ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot's voice mode if you need hands-free instructions. Perplexity also has a good voice mode, which has recently improved. And you can even try ChatGPT's advanced voice mode with video if you want the AI to see what you're working on. I used this recently to identify the specific ports and connectors for a specific computer setup I was working on, and ChatGPT's advanced voice mode was able to help me with it. Prompt number 9, the last one here, help me find. This final template helps locate information buried in documents or buried somewhere online. Use it when searching for specific points within those lengthy documents, or when you need targeted research that's very specific, or when you want to confirm the source of a data point. This works best when you're working with specialized search tools like Perplexity and Perplexity's new deep research function or ChatGPT's new deep research function. It also can work with Notebook LM, which can use the materials you upload and will only reference materials that you've uploaded. So Notebook LM, which is an AI tool from Google, will not actually hallucinate or bring in outside information. It will only focus on the information that you have uploaded. So it's particularly good for this kind of search process. Pinpoint is another tool from Google that's useful for searching across a vast collection of PDFs. It can even search within the images that are in those PDFs for particular words or language. A tip here is to be specific, hyper specific about what you're looking for and request citations so you can verify information independently. And Perplexity and the new ChatGPT Deep Research will both provide those citations that you can use to verify the information. Finally, a few power phrases to boost your prompts. Whichever of these prompts you're using, or even if you're using unrelated prompts, there are a handful of phrases that really can be quite helpful. And the first one is to be surprising. So you can actually instruct your AI assistant to be surprising, unexpected, unconventional in your approach, right? That's a phrase you can use, any combination of those words. You can also, secondly, ask the AI assistant to be concise. So you can say, quote, use concise, specific language and avoid technical jargon. The third special power phrase you can use, quote, analyze the examples of provided and match that style in your response. And that's in the instance when you're uploading examples of your past writing or your past presentations or your past transcript, so that the style that the AI is responding in matches the style of your own writing or your own communication. Number 4, ask clarifying questions if you need more information to give me the best possible response. The idea here is that you want to make sure the AI is giving you a response based on a complete or as complete set of information as possible. in order for the answer to be relevant and specific and to be useful for you. So you want the AI to know that you're okay with it asking you questions if it doesn't have the information it needs to provide you with the relevant, helpful response. Finally, number 5, quote, try again with a more detailed, nuanced response that specifically improves the accuracy or the depth or the creativity of your answer, right? So this one basically is a way of saying to the AI, do better or be better. And you can even just use that, like, give me a better response, and it will iterate on the initial response. But if you want it to be better or different in a specific way, it's easy to just specify the way in which you want it to be better. So for example, the second section of the response is still confusing or could be more concise or could be more clear or doesn't address the specific constraint that I'm facing. So the idea here is really to iterate on the prompt and to push the AI assistant to improve its responses by repeatedly asking it for more responses. If we did this with a human assistant, they might get really tired or bored or frustrated. But with an AI, it's happy to repeatedly respond, to iterate on its responses, to improve its responses. And so it's useful to keep pushing it for more quality responses and for more relevant material, etc. And finally, last bonus tip is to remember that you can use ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or Copilot to help refine the prompts themselves. So you can actually basically use the AI assistants to help you use the AI assistant. It's kind of a meta thing there. As language engines, these AI tools excel at sharpening prompt wording. So that's a kind of trick that people might not think to use them for, but they are quite good at. I hope these 9 versatile templates and these 5 bonus power phrases help you get more value from AI and AI assistants in your work. If you try one out, I'd love to hear about your results in the comments section of this week's Wonder Tools newsletter post, or you can email me at jeremy@jeremykaplan.com, Kaplan with a C. Until next time, this is Jeremy Kaplan from Wonder Tools, and thanks for listening.